We just got our 1965 GTO convertible back from the sandblasters. Now this car's been completely, totally soda blasted on the outside, and then once I did all the body work and got it into its first primer coats, its primer stages, we went ahead and had it sandblasted. So if you look underneath, you can see they really did a really nice job sandblasting this. It looks awesome, and it is ready to be painted black. But the problem we have is that when it was sandblasted, it started to bring out all the true colors, what's really going on. And if we look over here in this section right here, you can see it's got a lot of rust in it. Now, this is not major rust, but it is rust. And this kind of action right here would actually call for you to replace the floor. But being as clean of a car that this is, and this is a very, very clean car, and you can see that just by looking at the inside of the vehicle there, this is a very clean car. And then the owner, wanting to save a nickel here and a dime there and as much money as possible, he doesn't want to replace the floor, and I don't blame him, because I got a different way of fixing that floor that will last many, many years of enjoyment, and it will stay that way for many, many years. And what we're talking about is this right here. This is how we are going to fix that rust. And a lot of you are probably looking at the situation and laughing, saying that is not going to fix anything. Well, when I get done showing you exactly how this is done, you're going to tell yourself, wow, I think my friend Pete's right. Why should I go ahead and cut floors out when I don't really have that bad of a rust problem, and I'm not going to drive this car every single day, and I might end up selling it in 10 or 15 years, and it's going to be parked in the garage most of the time. Why should I spend all that money and have all that hard-earned labor putting a floor in when I could do this right here?
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Now, we also found some spots on the floor itself, but still, that minor rust right there doesn't justify to replace the whole floor. And we're going to go ahead and do our fiberglass treatment on the rusted areas that we found on the floor as well. Now, we're going to go in here and take a gander at this car right here, and this floor is going to be replaced. Now, this floor here is rotted out extremely. You can see there's a section right there rotted out. Look at the rest of the floor as I scan across it, and you can see the difference in a rusted, rotted floor. Look at this right here. Look at that. Do you see the difference? This floor needs replaced. We are going to replace this floor, the complete floor inside this GTO. Now, the way that I show you how to do this, it's very important to follow my steps and procedures, because if you don't, you're going to have a chance that the fiberglass mat and the resin will lift up off of the surface. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make sure that our surface is real clean. Now, the rust in this car has been killed. It's dead. The bottom of the car was sandblasted. It's not going to rust ever again. What you're looking at up here is a mild surface rust inside. all the rust was created from the bottom of the vehicle coming up, not the inside going down. So we want to leave this rough surface on here. Another thing you don't want to do before you put your resin down in your fiberglass mat is you do not want to paint it with anything. Do not put any Pour 15 on it. If you put Pour 15 on this and then try to put the mat on top of that, it will not adhere to it. It has to be a very rough surface, what you're looking at. Now what I got in my hand here is a wire brush, and all we're going to do is we're going to wire brush all of this rust that where we're going to put the mat. Now we're going to put the mat, I'm going to kind of draw a square out. We're going to put the mat right here in this area. We don't have any problems on that side. We're going to leave that alone. And all we're going to do is concentrate on this area right here. So I'm going to take this wire brush that you're looking at, and I am going to wire brush this area down and clean it up really good. Now that we went ahead and cleaned our surface off, we went ahead and blew it out. We got all of the trash, the dirt, the scum, and everything else off the trunk that we want to eliminate. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean this surface down to the best as we can do using a chemical. And the chemical that we're going to use to do that with is this chemical right here. Now this is acetone. Acetone is used on a lot of stuff. And the best thing that you can use with acetone is use it as a cleaner. This will clean the surface, and another good thing about acetone, it dries very quickly. Now we can also use lacquer thinner if we wanted to, but using acetone, it is compatible, and I'm going to show you that. It's compatible with fiberglass resins and fiberglass. So it's better to stick with your acetone to clean your surface off, and the way that we're going to do that, we're going to take this throwaway brush, we're going to apply it to the surface, and we're going to let it dry naturally. We're not going to wipe it off. And one more thing, now that we are using chemicals that we are breathing, make sure that you use all your safety equipment to go along with that. Don't want to see you getting sick. We don't want to see you get cancer. We don't want to see you get leukemia or anything else. Always use your safety equipment when it's available. Even in this condition right here, we are going to go ahead and use hand protection as well by using our rubber gloves. I don't want those chemicals seeping into the pores of my skin. You know, we don't know what's going on with this stuff. And we definitely don't want anything happening to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my acetone and I will pour it vigorously on top of the area that I am going to fiberglass, and then I will take my brush and I will apply it into the surface until it's all leveled out and even, and then we'll let that dry and then come back to finish our job. Now that our surface is cleaned off, what we're going to do is we got our mat. If Minnie wants to get out the video camera, probably be better than being on a tripod. What I'm doing, I'm taking a magic marker and I am tracing out where I'm going to cut it. And this is just one layer. That's all we're going to use on this car. You can actually go up to 2 or 3 layers of it. Now, this is a Home Depot grade mat. If you go to a professional high-quality fiberglass company like a boat company, the mat that you get there is going to be 3 times thicker. Am I right, Minnie?
Oh yeah.
But you're going to pay 3 times more money too. So
That's a fact.
but this being the way it is, and it's not really that bad. We're going to go with this, and I think one coat of this is going to do the job that we need to do. But you have to use matte. Now, there's another product that's called a cloth. And the problem you have using the cloth, okay, we got to cut that out right here. Okay, we got to cut this out right here. The problem you have using the cloth does not melt into the fiberglass resin. And the cloth, another thing about the cloth is that it doesn't really penetrate to bond to the surface that we are putting this on. What the cloth will do, the cloth is actually woven. Do you know what I'm saying, Minnie?
Yes.
And when you pull on it, it's real hard. What that's for is if you're making something and you want a solid structure.
Tensile strength.
Yeah, tensile strength. We're not looking for tensile strength here or solid structure. We're looking for a bonding.
Oh, that might not be the right terminology.
Well, we don't know what the right terminology is, but I think
you get the message.
they get the message. So we're going to lay this down right there. Now, I'm going approximately 2 to 3 inches above where the rust is.
So you can see the holes through the light coming through.
Maybe the body shop girl can swap me out. There we go. Okay, and I don't know if you can see this, but we're going to pull it just a little more, and I think this one piece will do everything we need. Yes, it will. Now we do have some holes here. I'm going to take these pieces here, if I can grab those around Minnie. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I don't know if you guys saw me clean that area up. I'm going to go ahead and take this little patch right here, and there's a hole right there. I'm going to patch that. And then over here, we got a patch. So we're going to go ahead and patch that as well. And I don't know what those holes are for. They might be there for something we don't know. So there's that one. Alright, what I got here is I got a bucket now. We use this for stripping, but we're going to go ahead and mix our resin in that. Once again, we're going to get our safety equipment on. If the fumes start to get a little toxic and you can't handle them, put your safety mask on. And make sure you do the safety procedure that it takes. We got a nice wide open area that we're working here. It's ventilated very well, so we won't need that. But if you're doing this inside your garage and your doors are down, what, Minnie?
Use a ventilator.
Another thing I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to use fiberglass resin and fiberglass when you got a kerosene heater or a propane heater running. That will intensify the fumes and make them 10 times worse. So do this with natural temperatures. Speaking of temperatures, we got 50 degrees out today. At a 50-degree temperature, it's going to take a while for this stuff to dry properly. Might take up to 2 to 3 hours. But that's okay, because we're not going to do nothing to it. Now we are going to paint the bottom of it, but that ain't going to hurt us from this. Do you see what I'm saying, Minnie?
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and take our resin, and I'm going to presume that we're going to use a whole gallon of this shit, or maybe more. I remember in plastics class in junior high school, the teacher told us, bring something in that you want to mold. So I brought, you know what I brought? I brought the Aunt Jemima syrup bottle. Remember that?
Yeah.
Of course, they don't make them out of glass anymore. They make them out of plastic now.
Yeah.
But anyway, the way that we did it, we used fiberglass resin. That was the plastic, or something like it, you know. I don't know if it was exactly fiberglass resin. All right, so they're showing that they gave us 2 hardeners for this. So we'll go ahead and put both hardeners in it. That's a lot of resin. So we're going to go ahead and add both hardeners to our resin. Now I am going to say one thing about using this stuff. It gets very, very hot. If you use too much hardener, like let's say it's cold out and you say, well, I'm going to add more hardener to it. What's going to happen, it's going to get so hard it'll crystallize and it'll crack. Only use hardener required amounts that are required. Do not over hardener your fiberglass resin. Mixing up fiberglass resin is very tricky if you've never done it. A lot of people get on the back there and they'll say, okay, for 1 little ounce you're going to use 32 drops. Are you fucking serious? We're going to use drops to mix this shit? Figure it out, okay? That's all I can tell you.
What's your working time on this?
The working time on this is approximately, I would say 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and it starts gelling up. But then on the other hand, it all depends on what the temperature is. It's 50 degrees today, it might be 20 minutes.
But it's still pretty quick.
It's pretty quick.
You don't want to dilly-dally around.
Yeah, you don't want to be messing around. You want to get in there and you want to get it done. You want to make sure that this is mixed up thoroughly. Don't think that because you stirred it a couple times it's mixed up. You want to make sure that hardener and that resin mix up thoroughly, 100%. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use another throwaway brush, and then we're going to use a roller to get all the air bubbles out. That's very important when doing this. We're going to go ahead and pour some on here. Just like that. I'm going to take the roller and I'm going to roll it out. And it's going to take several rolls to get it to go down underneath the mat.
It's got to soak all the way through?
It's got to go soak all the way through. What we should have done before we did this, you don't have to, but it's wise to actually put a coat of resin down with a roller and then put the mat on top of it. Now that's how you would do if you were doing something with fiberglass. You put a coat of resin. Now you see that didn't go too far, Minnie.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? Okay. So what we're going to have to do is what?
Pour the rest of it on there.
We're going to have to pour more on there. Exactly. And now is when you got to really start getting in the swing of things, because you don't want this to harden up. I always get nervous working with fiberglass because I'm afraid it's going to harden up faster than you mix it, and if it does, then you're screwed.
Starting over would be a big, huge mess.
Yeah. You want to go about 3 or 4 inches past. Okay, see how I'm using my roller to push it down?
Yeah.
You want to get it all looking one color. See how it's all melting in now? It all looks, look at that, it's already starting to gel up. I need to hurry. I need to get this done. But this is how it's done right here. When you do this, let me have some more. We're gelling up already. See? And you didn't think I was going to use a whole gallon, did you? Minnie.
Well, I figured you would.
See over here? Really, this is where our rust really is bad. Now, like I said, you can continue to put one more layer on here, but I am going to warn you, the more you put on, the bigger chance you got of it not adhering. So, if you can get away with just putting one coat and you get all the bubbles out, that's what you want to do. Just like you see me doing. Getting all them bubbles out is really important. It's very, very important. And I think the owner's going to really be happy with this. He's on a low budget. This is a present for his wife. And he is trying to get this done. So,
little spots.
he's trying to get this done. Now, we had a little rust spot right here. What I'm going to do is take my brush, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and use my brush on this. And I'm not brushing it on, I'm tapping it. See how I'm popping that down, Minnie?
Yeah.
Okay, and what that does, there you go. See how that works?
All right.
Okay, if Minnie can go on the other side there, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. There was a couple little holes right here. I don't know what they were. But we're going to go ahead and fiberglass that in as well. And hopefully that's going to work for us using our brush. And then we had some spots here, and One of them was pretty major, so, which is this one. And when I say major, I'm not talking replaceable major. I'm talking, it was a big area. So don't, if you hear me say major when I'm doing this, that just means it was a bigger area than the other ones over there. And you see by using your brush, see how I'm doing that? What it's doing is taking all those air bubbles out, and it's working very quickly. And that's what we want. On this little stuff, this is the way you do it. Once this dries, I'll come back and I'll cut that out around that drain hole. But this is how you do this. See, this is it. All right, come on over here. Let me get a flashlight if anyone wants to go ahead and look inside there.
Oh wow, looks nice.
All right, so what we have done, we have now sealed the rust in. You can see where we used our acetone to clean the metal off. Look how clean that is. All right, we cleaned the metal to purity where it will not get any cleaner. We went ahead and applied our mat. We put our fiberglass resin on top of that, and this is the finished product. If Minnie can back up a little bit. Now the only way that this works properly, the only way that that's going to work is you have to have the bottom of the car, wherever the rust is, you got to have one side of it sandblasted to kill the rust. And then you can see right here where we went ahead and patched it. All right, little fiberglass patch action right there. And this is all you need. Look at that big one over there. It molded right into that drain hole. We don't even have to, all we got to do is trim that, cut an edge off, and we're done. So if you're looking at a cheap, inexpensive way to restore your car, then you need to listen to my friend Pete. I could have went ahead and cut that out, took me some sheet metal, and I could have welded it in there, and it would have took me fucking hours to do it. But instead, I went ahead and did it the quick way. The technique I just showed you, if you follow the instructions I showed you, will last you 10, 20 years. Am I right, Minnie?
Yeah, that stuff is hard as a rock.
The trick is sandblast the bottom, get all that rust, all that shit off. You come back in here, you got your acetone, you clean it, apply it, it's a done deal, we're done. How much did all those materials cost, Minnie the Body Shop girl?
The mat was like $7.
What was the total bill when you went over there? 1 gallon of mat, 1 gallon of each, how much?
That stuff's like $20 a gallon.
How much for everything?
Like $20, $30, less than $30.
And that included the acetone?
Oh no, I don't remember how much that was.
Okay, so we're looking at $50.
The acetone was $20 too.
Okay, we're looking at $50.
Yeah.
All right, we did this how many hours ago? A couple hours ago, it's done. It's ready to paint, it's ready to do whatever you gotta do. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. It doesn't make a shit what the floor looks like because you're never gonna fucking see the floor. It's gonna be covered.
Right. That's right.
Now you might see the trunk, paint it, you're gonna have a mat in here anyway, who gives a shit? This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. What did you want to say, Minnie the Body Shop girl?
I was gonna say, well, you're gonna paint the underneath side black.
I'm gonna paint it tonight.
And it's gonna look
It'll be
just
done.
solid black because there's gonna be no more holes because the holes
You won't even know. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you how to fix rust with fiberglass. We'll see you later, take it easy, and I hope that you learned something in all this mumbo jumbo bullshit that we just showed you. What does that say?
Mat, that's the important part.
Yeah. Make sure you use mat, don't use cloth. Okay, I gotta go to Home Depot and get me some seam sealer because I'm saving money.
You're in the dark now.
I'm saving money, see? I'm going to Home Depot, I gotta get the materials I need. We gotta get that painted tonight so we can keep on moving on it. But if you got rust problems, watch my friend Pete's videos, because I'm the guy that's going to tell you how to do it right. We'll see you later. Okay, I got to go.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.